discussion and possible action regarding the adoption of the fiscal year tax rate, provided that the approved rate shall not exceed the current rate of 0.0999 per $100 evaluation, resulting in a no new tax rate increase.
So moved.
Okay.
So my aim in this is to repackage last agenda item so that the people understand, our budget office, et cetera, understand road mapping. You know, what's the aim, how we're gonna work towards this? And I've seen many of these budgets, and so what I wanna do is just create some parameters that we could all agree on and stay within. That's my aim. Commissioner, you're good with that idea?
I mean, I support it. I do think that whenever we're doing the, I support the effort here, right? The process, right? We need to make sure that whenever we open the workshop and we're doing the workshop, that we first discuss what the bare minimum was, and then we go through the process of where positions, we hear everyone out. I mean, I just think that this is a little bit later.
Well, it's actually a little different because we frame it, in the years past, we've done things like, it's whatever we want to go in whatever sequence we choose. Mm-hmm. But if we say, here is our parameter, here is what we're going to strive for, then we can say, with those boundaries, yes to this or no to this. And if it's yes to this, then what are we taking out to this? And so that's my aim, is to be as fiscally conservative to our constituents, I can't shake it, people paying $5.14 a gallon right now, and trying to be as responsible with the tax rate as possible. Commissioner Smith?
I appreciate the effort in setting an overall cap. I don't think, having not heard from any of our departments as to what the implications are and what their requests are related to what is in the underlying budget, I don't know that I'm comfortable doing that now. I've been looking at, and I've asked Scott to run these numbers last week. We got our overall, and I'm sure he'll share this, or somebody will share this in the presentation today. We got our overall numbers from HaysCat, and those numbers tell us several things. Number one, they tell us at our current tax rate, our average property owner will be paying about $45 to $50 less.
53.
$53 less this year. If we were to add 1 cent to our tax rate and be able to take care of our employees, to be able to take care of all of the needed services that we will hear about over our next 2 budget workshops, the average taxpayer will be paying $7.50 less than they did last year. So it's, to me, a 1 cent increase in the overall tax rate. And if you, I know Commissioner Hammer wasn't here, and Commissioner Cohen wasn't here for those, but former Commissioner Shell and I were the ones who proposed the individual cuts that got us down to that 30 cents initially. At our highest rate, we were at 48.6, I believe, in the county. And so we worked very hard in trying to hit those numbers, but the amount of demand for services that we have and the amount of demand that by our residents, I could stomach 1 cent and still have them pay less than they did last year, or an equal amount to what our residents paid last year. I think that they would find that as a relief, given the increases in other costs that are out there.
A relief would be, passing this agenda item, a relief would be as, and you've had these arguments before on different items, and it's just a perspective of, well, here's what's going on holistically, and so you have it good, or, hey, how much can we do regardless of what's going on in other spaces? And so it's just a difference in opinions.
So I just wanted to say, yes, they are paying $53 less this year at the current tax rate, but their net worth has gone down because their home is now worth less. That's just like looking at your 401k and saying, oh, I had 100,000, now I have 80,000. They have less, right? So as soon as home values readjust, and if we keep the same tax rate, they'll be paying more. So it's not, it's kind of, you know.
We can debate it, or we can listen to everyone else's input and then have an open debate on it.
Well-
But if we want to debate each individual point, we can do that. And we can
But
go
let's just
through
let her
them.
finish her thoughts first.
So that's my take there. I'm not saying that what you said is regarding the process. Yes, I do think we should hear everything out, and then we should kind of establish a tax rate from there. But I do think establishing a tax rate first and foremost will help us determine what we say yes and what we say no to. Because if we don't do that, we're going to say yes to everything, and then we don't know what the tax rate is going to be. I do see that being a benefit. I've been very consistent in the fact that I do not want to raise the tax rate. I mean, I've said that a million times. I just don't know if this is the right place to do it.
And for that reason, thank you, Commissioner, you already know I'm going this way, so. And for that reason is why I want to frame it this way, because all of our department heads have had time to create their budgets, and they've gone through the process. They've gone into Scott, our budget officer's office, and they've gone through and negotiated, yes, this project is worthy, no, this project is not, or this purchase is worthy, this purchase is not. They've gone through all of that, and he's balanced it, and he's got it straight. And so what I'm trying to do is, you said it, people's homes are worth less right now. As a signpost, I take that as a blatant signpost, and we should do everything we can in this moment while we have it to be receptive as well. Commissioner Cohen?
I am not comfortable trying to set a tax rate right now without hearing from our departments. That's what that time is for. It is their time to tell the court their initiatives and what the future looks like over this next fiscal year. And I don't want to, I mean, I'm not going to support this agenda item until maybe after a workshop, but for now, I'm not supporting it.
Okay, and Scott, just to be clear, when you met with all of the departments, can you just give us, this is a brand new agenda item, so I'm sorry to do this to you, but if you'll please state your name and title for the viewing public, and then give us the 30,000-foot process of what has led to our binders and when you gave them to us.
Yes, Judge. The process starts with the departments themselves filling out their requested budgets. They put in what their requests are. Most of them were reasonable. And then the process is that the budget office will go through and dissect those requested budgets submitted. And based off the direction of the court and where we want to land, I went in and essentially ranked through discussion with those departments, ranked those projects and requests. And at the end of the day, before our recommended budget, this past week, I went through and I cut what was needed to get down to what the rate was that we wanted to start at, essentially.
And so when did you give us the binders with all of that department head feedback and elected official feedback with the budget office and all that negotiation? When did you give us the binders that concluded all of that work?
So those binders for the recommended came to y'all last week. And that was to lay out the groundwork of
That's right.
the budget.
That was a lot of work that went into that, and I want to thank you for it. Commissioner Inglesby?
Yeah, Judge, I mean, you know, I respect everything my colleagues have said, but I too wanted a chance to go ahead and do the workshop before we took action on this item. But, I mean, if we're ready to take a vote, we can.
I'll listen to what the court says. I'm 1 of 5, and so I will table this until after the workshop or after the workshops. But it is my belief that we have heard the lion's share of elected officials and department heads through the binders and through the process. And these last-minute audibles and requests are, oh, by the way, kind of things. And I'm thinking that may be our opportunity to take from another area so that we can, if we as a court support a request, give it to them, but pull from somewhere else that's less important potentially. But my aim is to be the most fiscally sound while people are paying $5.17 a gallon for diesel and their home values are dropping. But I'll table this until the second workshop, and I thank you all so much. Please move on with K3.